to Mr. Dawson. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So thank you for letting us come. I know that this is the first time y'all have seen these kits, although we have tortured all of you by making you take some training for these kits already. We were very thankful for this opportunity. We did put in for a grant. It was a school safety type grant. And we received $35,000 from the Governor's Crime Commission to basically purchase some items. And the two items that we purchased were these bleeding control kits, and we purchased a ballistic shield for each of our schools, basically. And they have already been trained for our law enforcement personnel, and we have handed them out. So if you have a school resource officer at your school, they now have been issued a ballistic shield to keep. If you don't have a school resource officer, which would be our elementary school, some other, those have been given to our patrol division because they are the first responding units that will come to your schools, basically. So in-house, we have conducted training sessions with all law enforcement. In addition to that, you have completed training for the Stop the Bleed class to teach you how to use what is in these kits. Each school will receive one of these kits, and of course we were just talking about your maintenance department will have to mount these on your wall somewhere. Our recommendation is kind of maybe where you've got one of your AEDs at or something like that, put them near that for the simple purpose of people already know that location. But in each kit, as you'll be able to see them, you can open these up. You're not gonna hurt anything if you open it when it's at school. The only part I will tell you is once you open it, you'll get this bag is inside basically, and it makes it with handles so that you can grab it and go anywhere in the school where you need to go. And inside of the bag is 8 kits. And basically what this is made for is 8 people who have some type of traumatic injury or something that has happened, so you can actually try to control the bleeding of 8 different people. And we hope, of course, that this could save a life before EMS or law enforcement or other responders could get it. And that's why we've been very thankful that your school leadership encouraged and allowed y'all to participate, because this is just like CPR. This is a trait that every single person in our community can know to try and save somebody's life, whether it's a wreck where they have bleeding, a gunshot wound, anything like that. This is the supplies that you need to help to hopefully control those things. So fortunately, we've got that all done now, so all these will be passed out, and we're going to leave them today. What we talked about was each principal just take one box home with you, and then once you can get it scheduled with your maintenance to have it mounted, we'll go from there. But Jordan Taggart is here. She is, I don't know if a lot of y'all might have met her, she is our operations manager, I guess, for our EMS program. So she's just going to tell you a real quick detail. If you haven't completed the training the way possibly that you can understand, that could be an ongoing thing. Some of your staff could actually probably teach that once they get that going. But she'll tell you a little bit about the training that y'all completed to make sure everybody's aware of that.
So with the training, we did initially, due to COVID, we did online training. It was through like a PowerPoint presentation, and we had like several sessions for each school. So initially they did the online training, and then we actually went to each school and we did hands-on training. They actually came through, we had the little mannequin legs, they had to show how to do direct pressure, packing, and then tourniquet application. We did notice that there are chest seals in this bleeding control kit. So I believe moving forward, what we'll probably do is just do like a 10-minute quick like training video and then send it to you guys. It's only for chest wounds, and it's just if there were some type of open chest wound, it's just for you to, it's like a sticker. You put it on, it seals the chest so more air doesn't enter the chest. Because in medical world, if air enters the chest, it can cause what's called a tension pneumothorax, which is when a whole bunch of air gets into the chest and it causes the lung to collapse. So that's all they really are. It's literally like a sticker that you would just stick over top of it. But we'll send out about a 15-minute training video, just because that is not something that is standard in a stop the bleed class. But like Ryan said, you would pull this whole thing out, but understand, and I explained to all the teachers whenever I did the initial training, that this is the biggest thing to remember is this is a life or death bleeding emergency type kit. It's not a first aid kit, okay? So this is not where you want to go if you just have like, you know, a skint knee, something like that. This is not the kit that you're going to. This kit is, there's excessive amounts of blood loss, you know, whether it be spurting, whether it be, you know, a large excessive pooling blood, this is the kit that you would go to at that point. But you have 8 different kits inside of the big box altogether. So it's 8 potential people that you could treat with this. So stop the bleed, one of the very first things they'll tell you in that training is hemorrhagic shock and death due to hemorrhage, to uncontrolled hemorrhage is the #1 preventable traumatic injury. So if you can stop the bleed, especially before EMS gets there, if you can stop the bleed and we continue that care, then the survivability is much, much higher. So like I said, we will be forwarding out an email with about a 15-minute training on chest seals, but otherwise, I had an absolute blast at all of y'all's school. My staff, I had so much help from my staff, so please understand, there were 732 total people that we trained, and please understand, it was also with a bunch of our EMS staff that they would work a shift the day before and they would get up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and they'd be ready to go train you guys. Same thing with the sheriff's office. We had several deputies that stepped in and their detectives. They stepped in, they helped as well, but I had an absolute blast at every single school we went to. It was kind of one of those things, it was tiring, but when you got there, you had so much fun, it really wasn't so bad. So thank you guys so much for your teachers and for all the hard work they put in it. We really appreciate it.
I will say, when we signed up for this grant, I hate to say we didn't involve EMS initially because we didn't think about training your staff, but once we started talking about it, they didn't run away from us when we said, hey, we've already got this grant, will you help us do this? They stepped up to the plate and really helped us get that part done. So we're very grateful for EMS. Commissioner Rouse is here. One thing I'll tell you about grants, of course, the sheriff's office somewhat runs independently, but we don't get to accept grants. The commissioners have to be willing to accept this grant on behalf of the county. They fronted the original $35,000, and then as we purchased everything and got everybody trained, we met the goals of the grant, and the county was reimbursed at that point. But since we can't accept grants, the commissioners have to do that for us. So anytime we do that, of course, we want to thank our commissioners.
Well, y'all done a fantastic job. I mean, you're always coming to us with good ideas, and this is something that benefits the community. Hopefully, we'll never have to use it, but the commissioners were definitely on board with this when you first came to us, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that said, again, please, if you're a principal or whatever, take one for your school. There is 2 of them we actually brought here. We'll have to take them back there for Parrott and Bethel because we got them for private schools as well. But please take them back, and if you have any issues in the future with them related to the supplies or something, we can direct you to the company. This was a one-time grant, so if one of these is used and has to be refilled, then that's something we can direct you to help you get those the right direction of that. So, but
Also, just to add on really quick to Ryan's, I know they were saying they were going to mount them next to the AUDs. Elementary schools, I believe they were going to be placed in the office, just FYI. So if you're an elementary school teacher, I believe the thought process was to place in the office, so that way all of them would be standard across all schools. So just if you're elementary school teachers, just want to toss that out there.
So we're grateful for y'all participating with us. I think Sheriff Ingram's just gonna close it out for us, and then I think if we can take just 5 or 10 minutes, just to get some pictures right quick with y'all.
I just want to thank Superintendent Williams and all of his staff, emergency management and their staff, our commissioners, for accepting the grant, and certainly for you guys participating. We certainly hope that we never have to use them, but when you see stuff happening all around us, we've got to be prepared. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you.